I'm sure everybody is ready and attentive to listen.
Now, so for Nana Kwesi at the plane.
Reverend Anakwesi was with me on the flight.
Kofi wa mumfre Kofi mra. And I'm a second born. No.
And my second born.
Also for Kofi mame. And I'm Madame Fubia. Your friend Nana Prempe. And he didn't say. Nana say tutu.
And a friend of mine who is called Nana Osei Tutu.
Your friend Prince Nana Osei Tutu.
He's called Prince Nana Osei Tutu.
Ofra him fie.
He's from the palace. He's from the royal family. And I'll not disclose the reason why we went with him. He's from the royal family.
And yes, South Africa near call you. And yes, we are called Johannesburg.
We did not travel to South Africa or Johannesburg, but we actually went to Swaziland.
Be a king Swaziland for
where the king of Swaziland resides.
Now, I just saw see Johannesburg and Sana. Would the plane at Twaso?
But if you are going to Swaziland, you must make a stop at South Africa before you connect another flight to Swaziland.
I
want everybody to be attentive. Don't despise what I'm about to say. So today when you get home, use what you are going to hear to revive your faith.
You fly free Hanoma. Now I have 5 hours flight. 5 hours and 30 minutes. You take it 10 hours. And I 11 hours.
So in the trip from Ghana to South Africa was within 10 to 11 hours.
Nah, Kofi bra. What do you know? Chenny in Amra. For Chenny in I know Bibi Abra. Bonsama Kofi.
Put your hands together for Kofi Isaac.
Nah, Yadru, baby, Ethiopia. You're from Addis Ababa.
So,
Addis Ababa.
When our first flight landed at Addis Ababa,
now you go through plane.
So we were boarding another flight.
Johannesburg.
To Johannesburg.
You plane no.
As soon as we entered the plane, please listen attentively.
I
was not asleep.
Demons.
All of a sudden, I saw demons entering the plane. They were smallish, but they had long ears. And they had some tiny horns on top of their head. And their wings were like that of a bat. I saw that these demons invaded the plane. All of a sudden, I saw these demons mopping the aeroplane.
But
there was no death
why?
In the plane. So when I gained my consciousness, I was asking, what am I seeing? What is happening? So as I was seeing them, I thought they had also seen me. But it looks like they could not identify me or they could not see me. But I was looking at them. All of a sudden,
business class.
I saw 2 of these demons went to stand beside a certain woman at the business class. One was holding a sword and the other was holding an arrow. And they were so furious as they were standing beside the woman. I also don't know the woman.
Including
So I saw that these demons had finished mopping inside the aeroplane And they were done and they left. With the two who were standing beside the woman, they also left. So I was asking myself that what is happening? What am I seeing? What does this mean? So I also asked the Lord to give me an explanation to what has been revealed unto me. But I didn't hear anything.
Your plane are ready, take it off.
So everything was set for us to depart.
Exit say demonstration in every so the small car I am a push plane be push a plane now just say bibia is on course.
So the air hostess had finished giving their making their presentation about the safety rules whenever you board a flight or whenever you are boarding a flight, and the plane was moving backwards to the position where it must begin to
pilot
take the flight.
Wachire hours dodo yedi be free baby e wo no akọ Johannesburg.
To the point where the pilot also announced the hours that we are going to stay in the air.
Obi a watena plane mu da bi anim o ma kire aduane a omde be maye ama ye book a obi a nhwem no choose aduane o pe me pese me kire say bibia ye set.
So they are giving us a menu for us to go through so that you have the opportunity to choose or the privilege to choose the meal that you want or you prefer. So everything was set.
Engine is so condition bibia.
So the engine had already been started. Everything was intact.
Yeah, full plane in an engine is so that.
So before we boarded the plane, the engine was already on. Yeah. Everything was set.
Afei yet plane sa plane move ya the hu ya ne say engine nyina ko off.
So as the plane started moving, before they will increase the acceleration, everything came to a stop. The engine stopped. The engine shut down.
Pilot also anka bibi ankyere but a doom.
The pilot did not say anything. No announcement was made before everything went off. So I was quiet in the plane. I was sitting down quietly in the plane.
And I rather catch them say, "Nia esi, our former and kebesi was so."
So as I was sitting down quietly, the Lord spoke to me and He said, "What has happened here while the aircraft is on the ground was meant to happen in the air."
Angel, kuta sword, bejina plane anim. Nti akire kura san the rade catch them so on the suma angel no, am be stop plane no, because demons are planning so on be crash plane no wasoro. Not because of me, not because of phobia plane, but nipa ba kupe binti.
So an angel appeared to stand in front of the aeroplane with a sword. So it was after the incident that the Lord was giving me details about all that happened, and He told me that He was the one who sent the angel to come and stop the plane from flying. So if you ask Reverend Nana Kwesi and my son Kofi,
engine call off.
When the engine went off,
just like that. Pilot no cry nim say engine be call off because everything is okay.
And the pilots themselves didn't know that the engine was going to shut down. But it took everybody by surprise. And because of the revelation that I had,
I'm saying no, something is not right.
I told myself that something was not right.
I'm sorry you plane.
So I stood up in a plane.
And I'm a call near Oya announcer
and I went straight to the supervisor.
And I'm a bus and said,
so I asked her, what is going on? Something is happening.
Oh no, so okay, Oba.
So she also told the prophet that she should give her some few minutes.
And I'm
She'll be right back.
baby a pilot for no.
So she went to where the pilots are.
Oba no can tell me say pilot for no say omunim the reason why a plane no yes sir. But
So-
almost say a technical problem na na almost say almost taking care of it.
So when the supervisor returned, she told the prophet that this is there was a minor technical issue and they are handling it, so everything will be fine.
And I'm saying no.
So
no BB koso.
so the prophet insisted that no, something is going on.
And to me original plane
So I stood up in the plane
I ni kwan say nka me yes sir.
and I shouldn't have behaved like that.
And I'm saying mo amuti plane no mu ntie me.
And I said, all the passengers on board, listen to me.
Plane way the see or form and ke be si osoro.
What we just experienced on ground would have happened when we were airborne.
No nyame na ya adom na si or form ha se be ya enkosi soro.
It's by the grace of God that it happened when we were on land.
Intermediate me hu biribi.
So with me, I have seen something.
Etimene me ma ene madamfo ye si afri plane no.
So with me and my children and my friend, we are getting out of the plane.
Na wa person okowu no tena plane no.
But anyone who want to die, stay in the plane.
Ehɔ na obi tia mu ka say South Africa minister ene te hɔ no.
So it was at this time that someone shouted from the back that the woman sitting in
Dabi
front,
wan ka woman o. O say
the person sitting in front is a minister from South Africa.
etimi bi fi say a gentleman not te hɔ no because no me mienu.
So from the direction that the person who shouted pointed, I thought it was a certain man.
Oh, in fact, omo dress ne kyerɛ sɛ omo yɛ enmonyamfo.
And their appearance signified that they were prominent people.
Entimi kɔ omo nkyɛn.
So I went straight to them
Na mka kyerɛ omo sɛ me yɛ minister.
and I told them that I'm a minister.
Plane na yɛ ti mu no. Sɛ yɛ kɔ so tena mu na san take you off yɛ nyina yɛ bɛwu wɔ wiem. Nti wɔn na yɛ minister. Ɔkɔ nka kyerɛ pilot ne sɛ me si plane ntimi fly.
So I told this person that I am a minister and I'm telling him that if we continue to stay on board and the airplane takes off, we are going to die.
And I say, please, can you go and sit down?
And the man said, please, can you resume your seat?
And I'm saying, you want me to go and sit down?
And I told him, do you expect me to go and sit down?
Me, I won't sit down.
With
If
me,
you like,
I'm not going
you
to sit
sit
down.
down.
But if you want or you prefer,
Me,
you can sit
my
down.
family, we are going out.
But as for me and my family, we are going out of the plane.
And this flight can never fly.
And this aeroplane can never fly.
Entimi ntu da mo pa mo hwe.
This aeroplane can never fly.
Afei,
If you like, you can
omo
challenge me.
san sparky plane ni biem.
So they started the engine again.
Afei, na air condition ni bo heat.
So the air condition was not working well.
Ehɔ,
Instead of cooling the air,
and a
the air was
gentleman no
becoming
can say,
hotter.
South Africa minister net no be ka kyerɛ me sɛ enya papa no omu mienu yɛ ne bodyguard but maame no na nge sɛ maame na mu sɛ demon su na begina ne nkyɛn ne sɛ ɛyɛ ɔno a ɛna me
So-
call maame ne nkyɛn direct.
So the gentleman who shouted about the minister from South Africa pointed the woman to me. That there is a woman rather who is the minister from South Africa, but the men behind him are her aides.
And I'm saying, minister, my family and I, we are going out.
So I
if
told
you
the
want to
minister.
die, if you want to die, you stay in this flight.
So I told the minister that as for me and my family, we are getting down.
And I'm
But
sure
if she
people
wants, she can fly with this flight.
come and follow me.
So I shouted in the plane that anybody who does not want to die, follow me and let's get off this flight. So people begin to rise up from their seats. So they came to call the minister, who was the woman seated in front, and they took her to where the pilots are.
Minister ne baya no do omu krom kasa kan bibia kire ne bodyguards mienu. De mu yan so ma for omu bag omu be piako. And I'm so wow.
So when the minister came back,
the minister is going.
He said something to her bodyguards in their native language, and all of a sudden I saw that these gentlemen took their bags. So what did the woman hear from the pilot that she came to take her bodyguards? And they were getting off the plane. So I told all of them that we seen that they are taking the minister out because he is of more relevance. They are taking her out. So some men came into the flight, and in charge. And the person said, "He is the one in charge."
What is the problem?
And what is the problem?
And I'm catching say, "Openi, this plane ain't mean to."
So I told him that, gentleman, you know something? This airplane cannot fly. If you try, it will crash in the air.
Na crash na ke be crash no. Eno nyame amana si wo fom ha no. And you're warning, because something is going on. And what would have caused the plane crash is what has happened here, as a warning or as a sign to us that we should not fly. I've also my friend engineers. So afterwards, he told me that they have called their engineers and they are working on it, and within the shortest possible time, they will finish with their work. So after about 30 minutes, the announcement came from the pilots saying problem is very difficult. That they are having some difficulties. They are having some difficulties. No fly with they can't fly. So they will not be able to fly. Put your hands together for the Lord. Gentleman be on any wife at Timechi. So there was a gentleman and his wife who were seated behind me. Nobleman. Some nobleman. Free baby and so he came from his seat. Save our souls. And he shook my hands and said, "You have saved our souls." And I'm saying, "Glory be to Jesus." And he said, and I said, "Glory be to Jesus." Afei, Bakusubaya or see, "You are the man." And another person also came and he said, "You are the man. You have saved us." So everybody came out of the airplane. They tried all their best. They still could not fly the plane. So we were given another airplane. So with Reverend Anna, Kofi, my friend and myself, we were seated and we were having our own conversation. That was when the Lord brought to my understanding the reason why the airplane was going to crash. It was because of the minister. There is a contention between this minister and some spirits. And these spirits have become so furious. Two things. There are two things. It's either they've offered their help to her, or someone is contending with this woman about her position. So when we left where we were seated, so when they came to call us from where the lounge that they gave us to board a new flight, they went ahead of us. So when they got there and they could not find me, they were asking about, where is this minister? Where is this minister? So it was when we got there that they said,
So far as we have the minister with us, we are safe to fly.
Enunti mene sofo nana ene me ba Kofi ne madam fo no.
So with Reverend Nana,
Kofi
and my friend,
oh, this is the minister. So, if the minister is going, then we are going. If the minister is flying, then we are going to fly. But if this minister is not going, we will go.
So when we entered the bus that was taking us to the tarmac for us to board the new flight, they were saying that so far as the minister of God is flying with us, we are safe. So far as he's coming with us, we will fly.
Minister.
So in the bus, everybody was looking at the minister.
I believe some free some a political minister.
I believe
some a reverend minister, but
I believe some thought I was a minister of state, but I'm a reverend minister. Not knowing there were some Ghanaians who were on board.
And they know me.
So they were telling the other passengers that they know this man. So when we boarded the new flight, so everybody wanted to be sure if I was on the new flight. There were some who just came to where I was sitting to just come and look at my face and smile.
Your next plane, it taking off.
So the next plane took off. So I wanted everybody's heart to be at peace. So I intentionally stood up and walked to where Reverend Nana Kwesi and Kofi were sitting. So I was telling Reverend Nana Kwesi and Kofi that this plane will take us safely. But I said it on top of my voice for everyone to hear me. So those who were clapping. Those who were happy were happy. They were celebrating their joy. And by the grace of God, we landed peacefully. So when we landed at Johannesburg, some of the passengers came to me and they came to thank me that had it not been myself on the flight, we would have died. We would have lost our lives. But we thank you that God has used you to save us.
Plane, na engine na off.
How come
off, everything off?
A flight which had the engine on, the engine went off all of a sudden. And the pilot was not aware of the course. So what if it had happened whilst we were airborne? It means God has done a lot for us. Put your hands together for the Lord of all creation.
So we deliver.
Glory be to the Lord for delivering us.
Although the acquire and who here, but me jitum say, souls be o plenum. I rade a wabotabi momo. And untina a be or the echo plenum at that time because Nanko Sankia Sunday evening. Baby Binti, may I say a command day.
So we were supposed to travel on Sunday evening, but for some strange reason, I changed our flight from Sunday evening to Monday. Although what we went to do was equally important, but I believe that there were some passengers on board who were on the will and the plan of God. And God used this opportunity to save them. This stands to reason that you are not going to die any moment soon. Put your hands together for the Lord.
Unim say, Minister no. Do
you know that the minister did not board the new flight with us?
Because me man so na catch the body guys no say na mehu.
So I sent Reverend Nana Kwesi to go and tell the bodyguard of this minister of state about my revelation. On cancer minister and say me pese me ne betrans akasa. Me hia na number, me mfa me number so ma no. So I told Reverend Nana Kwesi to tell the bodyguard that I don't want to talk to the minister herself. I don't want her number. I don't expect anything from her. But I'm just telling her what the Lord has ministered to me. So she should call her prayer tower, her men of God to pray for her. So with our next flight, the minister and her aides did not go with us. On the next flight. Who is not afraid of death? It was intentional.
And it
was intentional that I did not create any connection or any link with her. Because I don't want or I don't need anything from her.
As an advantage. No. The Radi farms we are the on trend baby. But me bomb pie man pa me cook me bomb. I know say me bomb pie man and they say my bomb pie man pa said Radi deliver me every side demons in him.
So if it was someone, the person could have capitalized on the fear that gripped this woman and had taken her and would have taken her number and to create a contact or a relationship with this woman. But I intentionally didn't talk to her, didn't take her number. Although I've been praying for her from that very day, even up to this morning.
I didn't know my fruit plane. So far, I didn't know my fruit plane.
Why didn't she come and join us on a new flight?
Which means Juma.
I'm sure she's going to work on herself before she will fly.
In Shankobia. I believe so. Would you